All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Ashley. I am the Program Specialist for the Science and Mathematics Academy at Aberdeen High School, and I wanted to welcome all of you to our virtual open house this evening. This event is being recorded, and it will be posted onto the SMA website tomorrow if you have any friends or family who weren't able to view it live this evening and are interested later on. So again, I just want to welcome everyone here tonight. We're going to run through a PowerPoint. I have faculty here. We'll introduce them. We also have our principal, Mr. Quigg, and 2 SMA seniors. So here at the Science and Math Academy, our mission is advancing education and enhancing futures. And again, we have Mr. Quigg, our principal, here with us this evening as well. Our goal at the Science and Mathematics Academy is to prepare students to succeed in any STEM major in college. That includes branches of engineering, mathematics, science, to include biology, chemistry, and physics, and computer science. We challenge students to be problem solvers and to be independent, self-reliant learners. And if you kind of remember this slide towards the end when our seniors present, I think you'll hear them speak to those things and how we prepare our students. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Quigg to continue our kickoff.
Thank you, Miss Ashley. Good evening. Tonight, we're so excited to have you join us, and more importantly, allowing us to share some of the amazing things that the SMA has to offer. As you know, the SMA is one of our state's elite magnet programs, and as a former science educator, could not be prouder of the amazing work our staff does with our students each and every day. Our Science and Math Academy is unique. It's one that will challenge and grow your student and prepare them for success after they leave us. It will give them experiences they otherwise may not have had, and will hopefully continue to grow their love for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. While our academic program is second to none, it's not our only focus. We pride ourselves on educating the whole student. Our goal is that our students not only excel in their academic classes, but are involved in extracurricular activities, clubs, so that they have the full high school experience. We recognize the rigors of our program, the challenges that the pandemic has created, and are working to provide additional skills and supports for our students. We have begun to infuse mindfulness activities with a focus on mental wellness into our coursework. Our hope is that we provide our students both academic and wellness skills that will last a lifetime. Once again, thank you for joining us, and please reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you. Ms. Ashley?
Thank you very much, Mr. Quigg. So here at the Science and Math Academy, we have 8 full-time faculty members, including also myself and Ms. Joyce, our SMA guidance counselor. So joining us later this evening during our Q&A, we have Mr. Kevin Blythe, Mr. Mark Evans, Ms. Yvonne Gabriel, Ms. Diana Liberto, Ms. Linda McDonough, Mr. Jason Sherrod, Mr. Aaron Simmons, and Mr. Andrew Webster, all of our amazing science and math teachers. We also have Ms. Joyce here this evening. So since we couldn't be together in person, we put together a little video virtual tour so you can get a little bit of a sense of what our facility looks like, and also some of the fun things that we do in our classrooms. You can see a little walk down our hallway on the 3rd floor of Aberdeen High School, which is where the Science and Mathematics Academy is located. Here's one of our 2 computer labs. And here's one of our mathematics classrooms. We pride ourselves on hands-on learning at the Science and Math Academy, so I have a few clips to show you some of the fun things that were just taking place last week. This is one of our many engineering projects. And here's a glimpse into our physics classroom. These are seniors taking physics E&M. I'll talk a little bit more about SRT, but these were a few of our juniors. We're setting up some experimentation in the hallway. So again, just a little bit of a glimpse into a day in the life of an SMA student. So we currently have 192 students enrolled, and that is representation across all HCPS middle schools as well as several private schools. So myth number one, SMA students don't have time to participate in sports, arts, clubs, or music. And as you heard Mr. Quake say, we pride ourselves in our students being involved in school. So on the next slide, let me show you some information. 70% of our juniors are member of one or more honor society. Junior and senior year is when students join honor societies. 62% of all SMA students play one or more sport at Aberdeen, and we have at least one student on every sports team. 55% participate in band, chorus, or orchestra, and 92%, nearly everyone, is a member of at least one club at the high school. And lastly, 13% of us are members of the drama troupe, cast, or crew. So you can see our students really are involved, and that's very important to us. Myth number two, it's impossible to continue to earn high marks in such challenging classes. So again, going back to the data, you can see how well last year's graduates did in terms of their GPA, which is just one measure of success, and also in terms of college scholarships. So yeah, the classes are difficult and we push you a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but we would never give you a challenge we didn't think you were capable of succeeding at. And you can see that our students are succeeding. We also have some AP scores, so you can see these are on our website as well, but you can see the SMA student average student score outpacing the global average scores across all science and math AP exams. Myth number three, from the moment you get home until the moment you go to bed, all you have time for is homework. Again, that's just simply not true. There will be times when you're busy, absolutely, but students who plan ahead, stay organized, and remove distractions are always doing well. In the SMA, we prioritize mental wellness and we help students build lifelong strategies to balance work and fun. Myth number four, SMA students lack social skills and friends. You'll see that's certainly not true when you meet two of our great seniors tonight. The truth is, just like any group of people, some are the same, some are different. But what's amazing about the Science and Math Academy is they're all here because they love STEM. And in that shared passion, they find a lot of camaraderie, which makes it an amazing place to be a student and a really fun place to work. Myth number five, all you can be is an engineer if you leave the Science and Math Academy and nothing else. Again, a little bit of data to dispel that myth. You can see that our students go on in college to pursue a variety of different majors. Engineering is definitely a big one, but we have students in all branches of science, mathematics, computer science, students that then go on to become doctors, pharmacologists, veterinarians, even a couple professional dancers. So what makes the Science and Mathematics Academy unique is kind of two general things. First of all, we have our semester electives, and we also have AP and courses infused with additional content. Then beyond that, we have a 4-year sequence of courses known as Science and Research Technology. And when Abby and Colin come on later this evening, you'll see from them what they're doing for their senior research project. So as I said, we have a number of advanced science and mathematics semester electives. These are taken junior and senior year. So you can see we touch on pretty much every STEM branch out there. Our AP Science and Math courses are extensive list of them that we offer. You can see that some are required, like environmental science and mechanics and statistics, and also calculus, and then others are optional additional courses that students can take. And again, we take the AP curriculum and we supplement and add to it to customize it for what our students are interested in and to tie it together with our other classes. So in that way, even our AP courses are unique to our school. We also offer AP courses beyond STEM. As Mr. Quigg said, we're interested in not just your passion for science and math. We want to offer you other things as well. So you can see we have AP language classes, AP English, AP Government History, World History, and also foreign languages and art as well. So those are optional classes that students can take. So the other big thing that makes us unique is SRT, and again, that stands for Science, Research, and Technology. So that's a 4-year sequence of courses. It starts as a semester in 9th grade, a full year course in 10th grade, a full year course in 11th grade, and a 2-credit course in 12th grade, where students complete an independent research project alongside a professional mentor. So it's extremely project-based, very hands-on, and again, it ends with relevant and authentic research. So as I was saying in the previous slide, in the senior year, each student works with a professional scientist, mathematician, or engineer in the community. We have a lot of mentors out at APG. And they create, as you can see in the picture on the right, a detailed scientific poster. And we have a big poster symposium called our Gallery Walk in May for all of our seniors, which is a really awesome event. So we, again, have a variety of capstone projects. You can see a bunch of people out on APG with our U.S. Army, but also universities like Towson and private businesses such as Booz Allen Hamilton. So we really have a wide variety of people that have willing to donate their time and partner with our students, which I think is a nice reflection of our program. So our program of study, all of the bold classes are taught by the 8 SMA dedicated faculty members and are located in the SMA on the 3rd floor of Aberdeen High School. So you can see that it's minimally 50% of your schedule every year is science and math focused, starting with Honors Algebra 2 in 9th grade, moving on through AP Calculus, starting out with environmental science and biology in 9th grade, layering on chemistry and physics, so that you're getting a wide variety of science and math courses. In addition to, you can see the SRT every year and also the semester electives that I spoke about earlier. So a little bit more specifically about the application process, since the application window did just open yesterday. So we have 2 rounds of admission. Round 1, we look at academic achievement in middle school, demonstrated interest in science and math, and written communication skills. And that's all handled through the online application, which you can find on the HCPS website or also on our website. Then students making it through round 1 are notified prior to winter break, and they're invited to participate in round 2, which is a virtual science and mathematics exam, and it will be held on Saturday, January 9th. So the applications must be submitted online by midnight, December 1st. The first round of acceptances will come out prior to winter break. Students who are moved past round 1 will receive an email and will be given information about round 2, which is that virtual science and math exam. The final acceptances will go out the 2nd week in February. And all of that, again, will be done through email with the email address you provided in the online application. So notice a few slides ago, we talked about in freshman year, students come in Algebra 2. That means that geometry must be completed by the start of 9th grade. So if you're an 8th grader who's currently in geometry, you're set. There's nothing additional you need to do. If you are not currently in geometry, but instead you are in Algebra 1 this year, know that you can still be accepted. We don't hold that against you in any way. It's not a consideration for admission, but you will be required to take a summer geometry class, which roughly will either be a mix of virtual or in person at Aberdeen. It's full day, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. Last year, there was not a cost associated with it. In years past, there has been. But just to kind of keep that in mind, if you're a student who's going to need to take geometry, that you will have to do that over the summer. And my last sort of bit of administrative details here, for transportation, students outside of the Aberdeen High School District will utilize the depot stops. What that means is that you are responsible for getting your child to their home high school or a high school that is convenient for you to get to. The bus then stops there. For example, let's say C. Milton Wright was my student's home high school. The bus comes to C. Milton Wright in the morning, takes them to Aberdeen, and drops them back off at C. Milton Wright in the afternoon. So as a parent, it would be my responsibility to get the student to C. Milton Wright in the morning and then home in the afternoon from there. If you live in the Aberdeen High School area, then you would just take your traditional school bus stop in your neighborhood to school. We do put a parent and student directory out at the beginning of every school year to help parents make connections with each other to work out ride sharing independently. So now I'm going to turn it over to Abby Mellick and Colin Moses. So I'm going to have them come up on the screen so you can get some faces with those names. So here is Abigail Mellick. She is a senior at the Science and Math Academy, and she'll be talking to you in just a couple minutes. And joining her is Mr. Colin Moses, who is also a senior at the Science and Mathematics Academy. So Mr. Evans, if you could put that PowerPoint back up, and I will turn it over to these two fine students.
Thank you, Miss Ashley. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Abby. I'm a senior, and I came from North Hartford Middle School. The clubs I'm involved in are Medical Club and Key Club. I'm in 4 different honor societies. I'm president of the National English Honor Society and secretary of Spanish Honor Society. For extracurriculars, I'm involved in a bunch of stuff. I do varsity swimming through the school, as well as club swimming with a different team in Bel Air. I work as a lifeguard, and I'm also in marching band for the past 4 years. For the future, my plan is to go to a 4-year university to study either biology or biochemistry, following the pre-dental path.
I am Colin Moses. I am also a senior at the Science and Math Academy. My home middle school was actually Aberdeen Middle School. I'm a part of the academic team, the chess club, and the chemathon, and I'm probably going to end up being the team captain for the academic team this year. I'm in the National Honor Society, Science National Honor Society, and the National Math Honor Society. Outside of school, I am in the marching band. I am on the varsity swim team. I am a Boy Scout, and I work at the Aberdeen Chick-fil-A. And then my future plans are to go to a 4-year university to study physics and mathematics before going on to get a PhD in quantum physics.
So a couple reasons why we joined the SMA. I know it can seem like a big thing at first and very overwhelming, but I promise it gets way better. So we wanted something to challenge ourselves with. I know for me, ever since going into middle school, I wanted to be like the best of the best kind of thing. So I was like, I gotta go. And then also we're looking at more opportunities to become involved. The SMA provides you with so many opportunities. Miss Ashley's always sending out emails of different ways to get involved and different things to join. We wanted more rigorous classes, wanted a close group of friends with similar academic interests. We also believed in ourselves and wanted to set ourselves up for better success going into college. SMA prepares you very well for college, so that's a big thing. And we've learned a bunch of new technology and engineering skills, and we wanted to explore academic interests in STEM.
And so we are still in the SMA for several reasons. Our friends keep us entertained. There's always something funny going on or some shenanigans going on within the class. Our teachers push us and really believe in us, and they really try to make sure that you do well in your classes. There's always something exciting going on in the SMA as well. Like sometimes we'll have game nights at the school, and those are always fun. We have an amazing group of supportive teachers. So all the dedicated faculty members, as well as Miss Ashley and Miss Joyce and Mr. Quigg, are all really good, great teachers and a great principal, and they really support every one of us. We're always presented with new challenges continuously. We always have a bunch of different academic interests. Like I'm really interested in physics, math. Abby's really interested in biology, and we are able to explore those academic interests as much as we want within the program. And then we also have our capstone projects that are a lot of fun and really exciting.
All right, stereotype versus reality. Mr. Evans, you're gonna have to click a bunch. All right, so stereotype, only hardworking students. Reality, yes, we're all hardworking, but there's lots of diversity among our students. Some people wait till the last minute to do their work. Other people do it like way ahead of time. Like we're all different in our own ways, but we all work together and we help each other out, and we're always there for one another so we get things done.
Another stereotype is that we don't really have any friends, and in reality, it's a really close-knit group of SMA students, and we also all have a bunch of friends outside of the SMA.
Stereotype, Miss Ashley said this one pretty much earlier, that we spend free time doing reading, studying, or doing research. That's absolutely not true. We have free time and sometimes we do that type of stuff, but we do like a bunch of other stuff. I know I have sports after school pretty much every single day, and also different other meetings I have to attend, but we have lots of good time management skills, as well as Colin and I are both in marching band, which is a big commitment, but we make it work.
And then another stereotype is that we're all like introverted and we like only spend time like on our own when outside of school. In reality, we have a lot of high involvement in clubs and sports. So we're always interacting with other people and with peers. And then what we do in the SMA, so there's a bunch of fancy machines that we use, like there's 3D printers and laser wood cutters that we use. We design and create a bunch of different engineering projects. We do a fair bit of coding and 3D modeling as well. And then we directly apply knowledge between classes and to real world applications. It's like freshman year, you'll have biology and AP environmental science, and you'll always be using information from one class in the other, and you'll always be seeing how that information applies in the real world. And that stays through all 4 years of SMA. You're always taking information you learn in one class, applying it in another, and to real world applications. We perform a lot of experiments. So biology, chemistry, physics, those all have a fair bit of experiments in them, and they're always a lot of fun. Some of the things we also do is we study pond water and tree leaves. We set things on fire. We work creatively, so we're always thinking outside the box and coming up with new solutions. We analyze data and interpret results, and we also have a lot of fun learning.
All right, so Colin mentioned this a couple slides ago, but our capstone projects, what is it? So a capstone project you complete your senior year. It's in science, research, and technology, which you take each year, but your capstone project's just done in your senior year. So they're so much fun. Some of us like have an opportunity to work in a lab. I know I'm working in a lab, and we're working with professionals, so you learn so much and they're helping you with life skills. But we basically are you have something where you meet your mentor, you meet maybe a mentor that you're going to get, and you'll receive your mentor's name, and then you start working with them your senior year doing your capstone project. Mr. Evans, okay. All right, so my project's on the left. Basically, in short, I'm working with enzymes and nerve agents with a different reactivator. So the picture in the bottom left is this robot. I'm working with a robot, which is so cool. This robot they developed like 2 years ago, and it's absolutely incredible with what it does. Basically, the whole point of it is just to minimize human error, and it's so fun to watch it do its stuff. But I'm basically just performing an experiment on that robot. It's doing it for me. I'm setting it up, obviously, and watching it and having to fix things because machines break. They don't always stay together all the time. So we have to obviously keep an eye on it. But I'm doing an enzyme with mouse and human. So we're going to compare both of them. It's super, super, super cool.
And then my project is on the right. It didn't format correctly on the PowerPoint. But what I'm doing is I'm going to be adding trace amounts of germanium to the WE43 and ZK60 magnesium alloys. What they contain is a long list of different things, and I don't want to go in detail about that. But what I'm doing is I am going to be adding the germanium to those alloys and then testing for the difference in corrosion rate. So you can see in the rightmost picture, that was the WE43 magnesium alloy, and I've added germanium to that alloy. And then as you can see, I've also cut it into several different pieces. And then I'm going to be doing a bunch of different corrosion tests to determine whether or not adding the germanium to the alloy actually improves its strength. And thank you for listening. And are there any questions? Feel free to post any questions that you want Abby or I to answer in the chat, as well as any other questions that maybe one of the faculty advisors can answer.
I don't think there's any in the chat, so I think you're good, Miss Ashley. But thank you guys.
Thank you guys both so much. Thank you, Abby, and thank you, Colin, for getting that student perspective. So that is the end of our formal part for this evening. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to go to the SMA website, that's scienceandmathematicsacademy.com. You can go there directly, or you can navigate through the hcps.org website by going to About Us, Schools, and Magnet Schools, and choosing from there. You also are welcome to email me. Again, that's Sarah, SARAH, Ashley, ASHLEY, @hcps.org. And I'm happy to answer your questions if you think of something during the application process. So at this point, we were going to turn it over for a little Q&A. And it looks like actually we've got some good questions coming in. I'll toss the first one out, and then Ms. Gabriel, you can take over from there. So let's see, this one is for Colin and Abby. Why did you want to join the SMA? And either one or both of you guys can take that.
Abby, you want to go first?
Sure. I joined the SMA because honestly, I just wanted to be challenged a lot more. Middle school wasn't super complicated, and I didn't really have a super close knit of people to talk to a lot. I obviously had friends, but I wasn't super close with them. So I knew if I went to SMA, everyone looked like they had a really good time and they were like enjoying school there. So I was like, well, band, they have a good band program. And also I knew I would get challenging classes, but I would have so many friends around to support me.
And then I know for myself that I've always had a huge passion for math and science. And like elementary, middle school, I just didn't find challenging enough in math and science. So I figured at the SMA is what's going to do it for me, and it has. I've really grown a lot in the program, and I'm really glad I came. But it was to get that science and math education that I really wanted to get. And as well as Abby said, a really good marching band and band in general, and so that's also been something that appealed to me.
Okay, we have a few more questions for the students, actually. So since Colin and Abby are paying closely attention, if one of you could answer, or both of you, what surprised you when you joined the program? Colin, what
I know
surprised?
One of the things was there was a little bit of a shock about the workload at first, but you do learn how to handle it, and you learn a lot from just time management and everything. But one of the other things that surprised me is all the teachers were actually worked in the field that they teach. So like the biology teacher was a biologist, the chemistry teacher was a chemist before coming to the SMA. So they have a lot of background information in their field, and that's been something that really has been helpful, and not just in being able to learn not just the subject matter, but then how it applies to the real world.
Thank you, Colin. And Abby, could you also answer that? What surprised you when you joined the program?
So stereotype everyone thinks we already went over. You have so much work that you can't even breathe. I was like, wow, I'm gonna be so overwhelmed. And I was at first, because it's like for anyone going into high school, it's such a big change from middle school. But it was like 2 weeks and I was like, wow, I got this. And our teachers are so supportive, especially in freshman year for AP Environmental Science. Ms. Gabriel walks you through everything, and everyone's constantly checking up on you and being like, you're okay, like we got this. They're slowly, gradually like getting you into this, and they're helping you all the time whenever you need it. So it's like, yes, it's a big adjustment, but it's honestly really not that bad. You have teachers around you to support you. I was also surprised about what Colin said. People like Miss McDonough was a biologist and stuff. So it's like they know what they're talking about. Not saying that all teachers don't know what they're talking about, but like they know what they're talking about, and they have so much experience that helps you learn so much better.
Okay, thank you. Miss Ashley, I don't like to put you back on the spot, but I think you are the best for a couple. We have quite a few questions about the bus depots. So I don't know if you were able to take a look at the chat, but one of them, if you could just explain the for short answer about, oh, now I lost it because it scrolled down, about getting to the school and back. Is there another way they can catch the school bus at their local school?
Yeah, I did see a couple of them come through. So, and I get that it's like a little bit of a confusing process. So I live in Edgewood, the Edgewood area. My students' homeschool would be Edgewood High School. That's what's the closest to my house and most convenient for me. Then I am the parent responsible for getting my student to Edgewood High School in the morning. The depot stop bus comes and gets them and takes them to Aberdeen in the afternoon. The bus will take them back to Edgewood High School, and then I am responsible for going to Edgewood High School and getting them back to my house or coordinating something for them. Excuse me. There were also several questions about times. I do not have the bus times memorized. In general, bus pickups are like around 6:15 to 6:35, and in the afternoon they return to their high schools anywhere between 2:30 and 3, depending on how far away the schools are. But if you're someone who really would like specifics on that, you can just simply send me an email, again, sarah.ashley@hcps.org, and I can give you that information. We have a little chart for that. I just don't have those times memorized. Do you think that kind of summed up what people were looking for, Ms. Gabriel?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Perfect. While I'm just have the mic, someone did make a comment that our students were wonderful presenters, so I wanted to pass that compliment on. But then also they did ask, is that something we help them with? So yes, that is something that we help them with, that we do a lot of presentation skills. That's part of our SRT curriculum.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Blythe, this question is going to go to you. If you could please respond to, what are class sizes like?
I know for myself, the largest class size I have is like 27. I think the largest I ever had was, I did have one year about 30, but most of the time it's definitely in the 25, 27 range.
Okay, thank you. And well, I'm not sure how to answer. Some of these are back to Miss Ashley, but Miss Ashley, maybe you know someone that can answer this in addition to you. What advice do you have to give to an applicant? Oh, you need to fix your sound.
Yeah, just realized that. Well, it's not a Teams event unless someone forgets to turn their mic on, right? So what I would say is already you've put in the hard work in terms of the grades and, making relationships with teachers for recommendations. So kind of what is most in control or you have control of now with the application is writing a really good essay. Something that really shows that you know something about the Science and Math Academy, that you're really interested in applying, and you have, like both students have talked about, this shared interest, that you're someone who's really interested in really digging deep into science, math, technology, and engineering. There also are a couple questions in the chat just about applying. We only take students apply in 8th grade, and that's true for all magnet programs. And because of the unique nature of our coursework, we don't accept students transferring from within the county after the start of 9th grade. So unfortunately, if you apply in 8th grade and you aren't accepted, then that option is closed to you at that point. And that was a question from a few different people.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Simmons, this one's going to go out to you. Could you please reply to this question? How do you get connected with a professional in the field for the senior project?
Every March we hold something called Mentor Night, and it's pretty much just it's a big setup where several mentors from the professional field come in, and we have, I don't know, probably anywhere from like almost maybe 40 mentors that might show up for this. And it's almost kind of like a round robin where like students can kind of spend about 10 to 15 minutes meeting with each mentor. And it almost kind of feels like a job fair. You go and you kind of interview, the mentor gets to see the students' interests, the mentor gets to explain what projects of interest they're working on. And after the students go through several rounds of meeting the different mentors, we take kind of feedback from the students and the mentors, and then we make the best matches that seems like the interests align with kind of the goals of what the mentor is trying to offer and the goals of what the student would prefer to work on. So it's a nice event where everybody gets to see what options are out there, and then we make the best matches possible for their senior year.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Simmons. Abby, I'm going to direct this question to you. If you could please respond to, how are your interactions with the students who attend the same school but are not in the SMA program?
So, since I'm in band, I'm around a lot of regular, like just people that aren't in the SMA. So I talk to a lot of them. I'm really good friends with a bunch of them. They're all super nice. And honestly, in general, our school is very respectful to our teachers. No matter if they're at Aberdeen, well, obviously we're at Aberdeen, but no matter if they're just an AHS student or if they're also an SMA student. I talk to so many of them. They've been so kind, and I'm sure Colin can also agree with this. I mean, in like my Spanish and my English class, I have Aberdeen students in there as well, and we get along really well. A lot of them are very intelligent, and they kind of think the same as us. I mean, some of them they applied to SMA, but they just didn't accept it. So, I mean, a lot of them are very, very, very intelligent and know kind of everything that's going on.
I definitely agree with what Abby had said.
Okay, Colin, well, since you're there, if you want to add to that, feel free, but I also have another question for you.
I'm not necessarily in the same class as Abby, but I know that everyone that I talk to outside of the SMA, all super nice people, we get along great, and I have a lot of friends outside of the SMA, and that's not just because I came from Aberdeen Middle School and knew a fair bit of them, but even from there's a lot of non-SMA students that I didn't know in middle school that I become really good friends with at Aberdeen High School just from being in general classes with them. And it's just a really positive, supportive environment.
Okay, great. And then this is for one participant named Will who said, I'm also in scouting. How did you manage your time and work with school?
So it does take a little bit of organization with when you plan to get your assignments done and when do you plan to do your scouting stuff. I know for me, I generally would do more work with like scouting program over the weekend. When I would do like my merit badges work, that'd be over the weekend. Sometimes I do it over summer and over breaks. So it does take a little bit of learning how to just manage your activities between scouting and SMA, but it becomes really easy to figure out how to do that early on into the program. And then usually most troops are accommodating for that as well. I know my troop, at least, there's a fair bit of us in that troop who are also SMA students. And so we have that kind of atmosphere already, but we're able to still get both of our get the work done for both of them, and kind of at a loss for words here, but you can definitely still do both. They usually don't interfere at all, and usually Scoutmasters are understanding if you have to miss a meeting or a camping trip for work, for like just have a lot of schoolwork. But then there's also times where you don't have a lot of schoolwork and you can still do all these fun scouting events.
Okay. And while I have you on, Colin, could you also shed some advice to an applicant? The question was, could the senior students also give advice to an applicant? And then when he's finished, Abby, if you could give some advice too.
So I guess my advice would be kind of, I guess for like your essay, kind of brag a little bit. Like if you've done anything like if you've been in a gifted and talented program in like an elementary school or middle school for like math or science, list that on your application. It really helps you stand out that you were not just able to do the math and science in your classes, but that you were able to go above and beyond, because that does stand out a bunch on the application. And then for the actual test, just going confident. It's going to be, it's not like it's going to be like, there's not going to be calculus on the entrance exam. It's going to be stuff that you would have already learned, and just make sure you go in confident in your abilities and show you what you know. And yeah, just show what you know and show that you are a strong candidate for the SMA.
Okay. Abby, do you have any advice for?
Yes, I have advice. Going along with what Colin said, show the SMA that you're unique. Show them why you're different, why you're applying. The fact that you're even taking the step to apply obviously shows that you have different goals than, say, maybe those around you. You need to tell us why we want to accept you, and how, if you've done something really cool or something, like, write it in your essay. Also, have maybe your English teacher in 8th grade or whatever, they can read it through and maybe make edits for you, if need be. But honestly, that shouldn't even be needed. You just should be confident in yourself. Write down stuff that's gonna make you stick out and stand out from everyone else around you. Also, for the test, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like the math is like algebra, like pre-algebra or something like that. I think it's like I don't know. It's like pre-algebra. Yeah. Right?
You guys both had, and some people had asked questions about the exams as well. Really, both kids, or I should say young adults, did talk about that very well, in that it's less about were you taught something specific, and more, can you read, can you get context, can you draw pieces together, and can you problem solve? So it's less like, do you remember what an isosceles triangle is, and more of synthesizing and problem solving.
Yeah. Also, never doubt yourself. Like, when you're taking the exam, don't doubt yourself at all. Just keep going, because you just have to be confident and you got it. Don't give up halfway during the exam and be like, wow, this is too hard for me. I can't do it. Stop. Don't do that. You have to keep going, because I believe in you and we all believe in you and you can do it.
That's good life advice, Abby. You should be running this show. And just going on with, since we're talking about admissions, someone asked about how many applicants versus what we take. We usually have between 200 and 250 applicants, and we have 55 spots. But what I always tell the students is the only way to guarantee you won't get in is if you never apply. So if you're interested and you think this would be a good place for you, then I highly recommend applying and seeing what happens. And same thing, having confidence in yourself and believing in yourself. And I think that will always go a long way. I think that really takes care of, looks like we've addressed everything in the Q&A that I can see. So I will close up the event for this evening. Thanks for staying with us as we ran a few minutes over our originally scheduled plan. I appreciate everyone joining us this evening. And again, this is being recorded, will be posted onto the SMA website. So you can feel free to share that information with others as well, or to revisit it if you want to be reminded of anything we said. So again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your attendance, and hopefully I'll be seeing some of you at the start of next school year. Have a nice night, everyone. Bye-bye.